Okay, good afternoon, gents. Hope everyone is well. It's all right. I was messing around with the demo a bit earlier, so I had it on it. So, Groll Daddy, how you doing? How are you, Wood? Afternoon, wishing you the best for possible Friday. Best Friday possible. Thank you, mate. I appreciate that. Good morning, everyone. Hey, Indy, how you doing? I'm in a happy mood anyway. England are thrashing Australia in the Ashes cricket anyway, so I think we've just had our ins, and I think we're about 230 ahead. So let's have a look, 232 ahead. So things are going really well. So I'm in a good mood anyway. Yesterday, finally, I sat for about another 2.5 hours yesterday, and I got back because I was, around about $700 down yesterday. I managed to get within $45. So I was really pleased. I managed to take a long and a short towards the end. I think I take something here. I can't remember. I took a long somewhere. Where was it? I can't remember. It was that long there I took, and I think I got 4 points or 4.5 points. That one there, and I took a short. That one there, second entry short. I was so tempted just to hold it, but I didn't in the end. So I managed to get within I timed it, so I just got back, and I hadn't quite worked it out right, but I was within $44 anyway. So all done anyway. So let's have a look. Brick, good afternoon. I've just been offered a job, so I might be missing a few streams now, unfortunately. It's all right. Work's got to come first, mate. I'll try to get home and catch them up. Congratulations, mate. Well done. So work's important. You've got to make sure you've got a living coming in, absolutely. Morning, afternoon, lunch traders. How you doing, Ram Wolf? Speedy, how you doing, pal? Ionis, good morning all. Alex, hey everyone. Speedy, well done. Thank you, mate. I just had to sit patiently, but I was just determined not to go down on that much, so I just sat patiently. But got to say, market conditions are so hard. I mean, it's got to be it's just wherever there's trades, there's traps. It's just, I don't know. I hope to God this isn't the way markets are going to go in the future. I hope this isn't the norm, because it's going to make trading conditions really tough. I don't know whether that's like that. I suppose it possibly is. Normally we'd want to touch there a few times, but it fits along that top there, and that just seems like an overshoot. So, but it's still a bit early. Trouble is, looks like an overshoot. We could be in a big range here and coming down at the top, so it's hard to say really. But yeah, I was really pleased last night. I had a really relaxing evening just getting it back. I managed to get 2 trades. But I got to say, sitting and waiting for 4.5 points was absolutely gut-wrenching. It was so nerve-wracking. Because obviously when you're playing catch-up, you know, you got to get it right. I ended up putting a break-even, and I thought, I'm taking at least half my money back here. And it worked out as well. I think it was I looking for? Yeah, it was that one I took there, that trade there. So what happened is we had this leg up, sort of a leg back, and we had that as well. We had a push up, pull back. So there looks like 2 legs and back and 2 legs. And I was these things are damn accurate. And if you can read this right, and I got in there, there was nothing back here. I took that as a higher low. And what I did is when that bar formed, I got a limit order there. And I think I got 4.5 points off that one. Yeah, 4.5 points. I took it a little bit lower than that, but 4.5 points. And I got the rest on that second entry short. We seem to have a leg down here. 2 legs of correction. We had a small channel there, a bit of a break. We pushed down, we pulled up, pushed down, made 2 legs up. That for me was a nice short. That was probably one of the nicest trades of the day. 1 leg up, 2 legs off. Confirmed that, so I went in there. I was so tempted. What I did, I brought it to break even, and I thought we got a leg down here sideways, and I was expecting to get down here. I was so tempted just to put it at break even and just walk away. I really was, and just see we're lucky, but I didn't in the end. But there we go. But if you can read this market right and get in on these, you know, this push up, couple of legs back and another push up, if you can get on these measured legs, you can Christ, market's open. You can do really well. So, okay, so probably that is a bit of an overshoot. So let's have a wee look. So if I missed there. Sam, how you doing, bud? Exponential Trader. Good morning to you, mate. So overshoot, reversal, that would make sense. Trouble is, working this market out without a lot of price action can be tricky sometimes. So I like to ideally sit there for 20 minutes and to figure out, because it could just be an overshoot, we're coming down, or it could just be the top of a range. The only trouble is it's hard to draw a range at the moment when you've only touched it at the top and the bottom. So who knows? I usually like to put that in. It's a sort of a safety blanket, but so yeah, leg up, another leg up, a little bit of an overshoot coming back. At the moment, say normally before we do one of these, it's got to touch 3 times and it didn't. So probably, I don't know whether you'd even do that really. It's probably safe not to. Whether you call it an overshoot or anything, we've had a little channel up here. We've had a break in a new high, so could be looking for shorts anyway. So yeah, I got to say, trades have got to be super special. They really have. I was chatting to a couple of people on the Facebook group last night, and people saying they were finding things really hard. Art, how you doing, buddy? Swing trading on long chart is easing this year. I'm starting to believe you're right, mate. It's a lot less stressful, isn't it? Markets are really tough. They're not giving much away at all. And if it's not all but a perfect trade, it's just stopping you out. Looks like a leg and a leg. It's just so hard lately, I've got to say. There's that many traps. As I say, seeing 3 bars go off, you'd be better off just jumping in here. I've mentioned that a few times. 1, 2, 3 bars, jumping in here just for a couple of points. 2-point risk, 2-point stop. 1, 2, 3 nice solid bars in a small round. Jumping in here, 2 points. You know what I'm saying? Hey, Rodian. What I'm going to do sometimes in an evening, I'm going to switch it onto a sim. And I might have a go at these. But whenever I see these, we start to get in a nice tight channel. You get 3 bars, nice tight bars. Maybe away from the EMA, and then they just jump in here. 2-point risk, 2-point stop, 1-to-1. See what happens. Same here. 1, 2, 3. Nice big bearish bar. Well, relatively bearish below the EMA. 2 points. That would have worked. Everywhere you look, really. 1, 2, 3. Nice big bearish bars. Same again there. 1, 2. Maybe down here you take them or something. 1, 2, 3 big bearish bars. Jump in. No one's trying to trap you here. At the key entry point where we take our trades, it's almost like people are sat there with shotguns just waiting to pick you off. It's so bloody annoying. Okay, let's get rid of that for now. I don't know, maybe you have 1 PA, 1 trade, 1 contract, and then wait for this and have a go at that. I mean, no one's trying. There's no traps in the middle of here. No traps in the middle of them. No traps in the middle of them. So we got this push down. 1, 2 legs up. Trouble is, I'm not sure what's going on here. It's a little bit. I mean, you could say there's a bit of a channel there, but it hasn't been confirmed really. It's not really been confirmed. It's just a push down a break, so we could be moving up. So taking a short to make a new low here is just, it's a bit risky. May work, may not work, but I don't know. It looks like a leg, a break and a leg anyway. But if you take a short here, just the same trigger and take you off. It just seems like the market says, okay, wherever we see any type of trade, let's trigger that bar and stop it out. Artie waiting for a pullback and go. Yeah, well, waiting with shotguns to pick. I don't. It feels like it, doesn't it? It feels like you're walking through, I don't know, a valley and you've got snipers up on there just waiting to see. There you go. He looks a bit too confident. Let's blow his brains out. and ruin his day. It does seem like that. So let's say this is a channel. We've had a push-up, a break and a push-up. Nice measured leg. So if it's a channel, you'd normally want to go, see, I don't know, I give up. I give up trying to work these markets out. They just ruin your day. I don't know. See, if you put that, you're thinking up, aren't you? When there's no guarantees we're doing that yet. It's just a bit unclear at the moment. That's on the momentum trades yet. It is tough lately, I've got to say. I mean, I've been trading this style now for just over 2 years. And this is by far the hardest conditions. And when I say hardest conditions, hardly any setup. And when you get half decent setup, it stops you out. It's almost, it's like torture. That's what it feels like. You know, the slight sniff of a trade and it gets you. I don't know whether these will continue or not. I don't know. I suppose, is it part... See, the trouble is, with us retail traders, we don't work for financial companies, so we don't know the general picture and the technical side of trading. Obviously, if you work for a big city bank, you'll know all the ins and outs, won't you? And you'll know when times are difficult and why. But as retail traders, I mean, you know, we're sat at home like sad little buggers, trading on our own, and we haven't got a clue what's going on in the bigger scheme of things. We just take the market as we see it. So we've had one leg, two leg. I don't know, is this going up? It's so hard, isn't it? Trouble is, if you go, okay, there's a higher low, there's a second entry long there. There's just so many traps, it's not safe to do anything. I am just wondering whether to just close my eyes and just hit one of those. Just, you know. Whenever you seem to try and make an effort, market just punishes you for it. It's a shame they don't make rubber monitors, isn't it, that you could just thump. And the strong trends, only small bars go in the direction per Mac, but that has screwed me before. Still, yeah, it's tough. I think this is really, trading in conditions like this is where you need lots of experience, and obviously, you know, the likes of us who've been, you know, maybe just getting into it or have been doing it for a few years, just aren't experienced enough to you know, to get away with it. We're taking a lot more losses and, you know, maybe just taking less trades. I mean, I quite often hear someone every other day saying didn't take a trade today. Now, 2 years ago, that was unheard of. There was maybe half a dozen really good quality setups. We get a nice trend. We get a lovely second entry long. We get a lower high. I mean, there was trade after trade. I don't know what's changed. I suppose, you know, a few people have said holidays, institutional guys on holidays. I suppose we're in the middle of July, aren't we? So it's the season, isn't it? So maybe that's the case. Who knows? I don't know. But look at this. It's up, it's down, it's up, it's down. It's all over the bloody place. Triple top. 1, 2, 3. Trouble is, at the moment, we've got an upwards momentum, so I don't really want to be going short. You could say that's a failure. Trouble is, the triple top for me... Oh, I don't know. I'm just not a fan of anything at the moment. You could say it's a triple top, but I don't know. It's market going up or down. What I will say is we got a slight upwards momentum, so it may trigger you and stop you out. Not only that, it is going a bit sideways, so that is not a trade that jumps out to me as something that I really want to get in. I'm not saying it's not going to work, but institutional trades are on holding and volume is really low. Yeah, perhaps that's why, but I don't know why there would be less setups. I think times like this, I don't know, maybe useful. See, if you count that as a new high, second entry long there, small bar trigger just stopped you out. It'd be interesting to see what happens with this failure here. Or see, I would prefer a triple test to come right to the top. But if I was in that trade now, I'd need a clean change of underwear, I would. Okay, so that give you 2 points. But to me, it's just sideways. I don't know whether it's going up or down. It's not been a triple top. Yeah, I was just thinking may happen now. Trouble is, sometimes they'll work, sometimes they won't. But a triple top for me is if we got a nice trend down and we got once, twice, 3 times along the same sort of line. That was a bit lower. I don't know whether that's a good thing. Does that mean it's moving down? I don't bloody know. But when I don't know what's going on, that's an indicator for me just to stay out. So you'd have got to, or maybe not. I took it right on the button there, but if you went a tick below there, say there, let's say there, you probably wouldn't have got, you may have got 2 points off it, but trouble is, even if it is that channel, which it seems to be, there's not much room there to the lows, is there? Fortunately, it dropped a little bit, but I don't know, this is just a little bit, well, shite for want of a better word. Now, if we pushed up here and bounced here, I'd probably say that more, but I don't know whether we're in a bigger, let's just try a bigger channel, see if something is working. See, okay, maybe you say that, and then we're working down. So we've had a 1 leg, 2 legs up, bit of sideways. Maybe we're working down, maybe we are, I don't know. But it's still a bit unclear, really, isn't it? Excuse me a second. Sorry about that. It's all right, daughter just did her last day for the summer holidays today. Okay, yeah. Okay, so we've made a new low. So maybe this is a channel, touch once, touch twice. I don't know, is it or not? But even if it is, it's had a break and made a new low by the looks of things. So it does look like 1 leg, 2 leg. It went sideways. Yeah, it's a bit unclear at the moment, isn't it? It's the trouble when there's low volume. It takes a bit of time sometimes to work out exactly what's going on. Does it look much better on the 1,000 tick? It's just more bars, but it's the same overall picture, isn't it? Doesn't look like it's going down a bit more here. I don't know, maybe trading on the 1,000 tick chart when the volume's low might give you a little bit more of a picture. Who knows? Okay, so we've got a leg down there, 2-legged correction, another leg. So if we can work out these legs, 1 leg, 2-legged correction, then I would say, by the looks of things, it could come down this way. Now I try and mark these and work them out, because every time they work, it does put a little notch in my brain. Because at some point, if we do seem to be working down and I can get a setup at some point in the future, and it's a nice setup up here, then I may decide to hold on to it. Because we've got a leg down clearly, 1 leg, 2-legged correction, whatever you want to call it, pullback. and then another leg, which looks like it's working down. So I would say let's clear this up a bit. It's about like that. So touching the bottom, touch, touch. Yeah, pretty much. See if we can get a second entry shorty. Trouble is, I mean, if you call this channel, we've had an overshoot, leg down, leg down. So it's as good as any place to come down here, but I think it's safe to say that that's a channel of some form. If we can get a second entry short up here, what's the ATR? ATR's not bad. It's all right. I'm just wondering if this continues like this, maybe to come down to scalp a point or 6 ticks or something like that, because the odd little trade, I noticed there was a trade I took the other day that I lost and Marco took. It was a good trade, but it went about 6, 7 ticks, I think. In fact, depending on how he got into it, I thought, how has he made 6 ticks off that? But if he got into it with a bit of a limit order. So that's the trouble when the ATR's low. Unless it's a really solid setup, if we have a lovely channel and a perfect measured leg, 2-legged pullback, a nice big solid bar, then I expect that to go for lots of points. But these types of trades, I don't expect a lot out of them. But the ATR's reasonable at the moment. I was hoping we may get a second entry short there. Because I'd say this is where I expect it to come to. If I can just get one trade, $200, I'm happy. As far as I'm concerned, I've had a good day at the moment. It didn't seem that long ago that I was taking 2 or 3 trades in a day. Good setups. Okay, so it's respecting the bottom, so that's good. It's definitely a channel working down in there. Obviously you can't take that, although it's probably just going to come rocketing down. It looks like a leg and a leg. Back to here, a leg and a leg. So whether we are going to pull back to here, but this is where I expect it. The way it's pushing down, leg down, 2-leg correction, this is for me. Trouble is, unless you get an entry, what can you do? Yeah, I've got the channel starting at the top. That looks similar. I'm up here. Yeah, to be honest with you, I don't think it really matters too much. Because even that looks like a 2-tiered channel, so all I'm doing is working the top. All I'm doing is working the top, but this seems like where it's coming to. But look, I mean, if there's a sniff of a measured leg coming out, the thing just drops, and it just... I'll be surprised if that comes back and gives us an entry. I think it'll just hit that. Ever tried just trading bounces off the EMA in the direction of a slope? Mate, to be honest with you, at the moment, I'd try anything. I mean, you could, in a downward trend, wait for it to touch the EMA or to get within a couple of ticks. Sell, give yourself a 2-point stop, see what happens. I suppose there's lots of things. The other thing I was thinking of, and I mentioned it a few times, whenever you get 3 nice big bars in one direction, starting to go in a nice tight channel, just jump in and buy. 2 points profit, 2-point risk. That would have worked. That would have worked. If you'd have, maybe that one, stop would have been here, take that one won't work. I did this the other week. We had a really nice trending day. Whenever you get a few bars in a row and we go into one of these nice tight channels, we usually go in one, 3 bars, and then just jump in. 1, 2, 3, jump in, 2-point risk. Trouble is, the thing is, no one's trying to trap you there. Markets aren't designed to trap you there because people take the trades at these EMAs and at these, well, especially the trend channels, because every trader draws trend channels. Now, they might not all have the 21 EMA. They might have the 20 or the I don't know, the 13 or the 8 or the 10. You just don't know. So these trend channels, I think, are more dangerous. Let me just see if we can maybe take that one. Yeah, I like that off there, actually. Got a leg up there, so I actually prefer that. But sometimes you're better off trying to take a trade where no bugger's trying to stop you. I'm assuming it's the algorithms. They see these areas. If there's a weak point, they buy, goes up, takes out some traders. It is frustrating. There's no entry here. Comes straight away from the EMA, and look what's happening. Comes down without us. Let's have a look. Channel seems wider at the beginning of the move. Yeah, I don't know. At the end of the day, we're nearly at this measured move anyway. See, J37, good afternoon. What the methodology of a measured leg? Markets move in twos. That's what I've led to believe. And you'll see it all the time. One leg down. And in a lot of cases, we get a correction. One leg up, one leg up. So there's a measured move there and there. But look at this. These are that accurate. They go to the nearest tick. In fact, I can actually shorten that one there. We see here we've got a leg down. Yeah, it's a leg. And then we have like 2 legs of correction. And then from here, another leg. And look at that. Look how accurate that is. Is this to the top? Yeah, look at that. I wouldn't be surprised if that comes down one more tick. But you can see it's like a leg and a leg. And here as well, there's a leg, a little pullback and a leg. So market likes to move in twos. So once you understand that, you can identify it. But I mean, look at that. Look how that's reacted to that. Look how it's finished right at the nearest tick. And often they'll go past it. But look, see how that's finished? And look how it's reacting. It's going down, it's coming back, and it's reacting to that line. So a measured leg. Sometimes they're shorter. There's a leg up there, a break, and another leg up. And often they're accurate to the nearest tick. Let's try that one. That's not going to be far away. Okay, so that might be there. Look how is that right there? Let's have a look. Yeah, look how that's reacted there to that before we've had a pullback. Often they'll go higher, but if you can get a leg up and then get 2 legs of correction and a nice setup to go long. So we've had this like 2 legs of correction, but there's no real setup there. I think some people may have taken that one. If you can work out what's going on, it's a bit sideways, but it's not a terrible place to take a trade. But if you can get a trade, nice tight up here, nice setup, look what you can potentially get if you can understand these measured moves. If you did get in there and held on to that and came out maybe 3 or 4 ticks, there's 10 points there, look. If I get 10 points profit in a week, I'm over the moon. So you can get it one trade if you can start to understand. So the more I mark these and the more I identify them and the more they work, when you get a setup here, you'll start to build up the confidence to let them run, because a lot of traders do. That's why you can see where it stopped there. Why? Because people are taking profits there because they got in here. Or if they got in here, let's say they took that one and they were swinging and they saw a 2-legged correction, they can mark that leg and the other leg. They've got a pretty good idea where it's going. So if you put your profit there, right, take profit right at that measured leg, look what happened. Perfect. So it's just getting to notice these. Sometimes they're bigger. Sometimes you'll get 3. And sometimes they're a lot more obvious. Leg down here, leg down there. Let's see how accurate that was. Let's put that there, I would. And let's put that there. So that may be a little bit further. But they'll usually always make them. But once you can start identifying those and reading them, that's where you can, if you've got runners, you take a trade up here and you can take a runner. It just gives you that confidence to know that the chances of it making that measured leg are pretty good. And they work all the time. So start marking them, and then the more happens, the more confidence you'll get. And often that's there where then we go in another direction. Obviously depends how strong the market is. So in a lot of cases, we'll bounce off these a few times and then push up in another direction. So this may be what we're doing here. But, you know, this is the overnight lows, so it's also possible we could continue down. Let's have a look. 2 points down. What did you get there, Sam? One of these, did you? Okay, so you could say that is a hidden second entry short. Something I don't like about it. I don't trade Pats. It's alien to me. I just watch out of curiosity. However, I have started looking at measured legs, something. Oh, mate, once you start marking them, you think these markets are random sometimes, and then you mark these, and literally right to the nearest tip. Look at that. Close, and bounce. Look where it's gone. Look how accurate. That first leg down, you can see it's a leg, and then you can see two separate pushes up, one leg, two leg. That one didn't beat that high, and then it came down, and look where it bounced. So I'd say this, if it breaks above here, I think that's going up. So there's probably some traders in that trade, which are in the trade now, and they may have their stop. So unless we break a bit higher, come back down and have a lower high. I don't know, but you've got to be careful taking short trades now, because we have made that measured leg, and so many times it'll trap you and push up. So you just got to be a little bit careful. So it, as well as telling you where the market's likely to go, it tells you where it's quite possible it'll bounce off. So if you think, okay, we got a channel here, break, we're expecting a new low. Just because we're expecting it doesn't mean it's going to happen, but it just tells you that if you're going to take a short here, make sure it's a bloody good one. See, if I'm looking on Bookmap now, I can see very little liquidity below here. So I would say, for me, I would be thinking it's more likely going to go up. It wasn't measured moves that guided your exit yesterday as well on your third trade. Yeah. Yeah, if you can understand these, see, at the moment, my confidence has been knocked a little bit because, okay, so you've got a lower high there, which is triggered, okay? So, is this coming down? I'm not sure. If I look at Bitmap correctly, the liquidity is up here. There's very little down here, so that would keep me out of that trade, the lower high. Now, Bookmap would keep me out of that trade. I look on Bookmap and think there's nothing down here. Now, that would have saved me a loss there. Now, if I wouldn't have taken that one, I might have gone lower high there. Oh, we're trapping some longs there. But I'm looking on Bookmap and there's nothing down here. So Bookmap would have saved me a loss there. Now, that is a second entry short. We've had a break of a channel. You would expect a new low. But look what's happened. It's give you a nice big bearish bar and a lower high. And a bullish bar that you might trap. So you're thinking, yeah, happy days. Comes down 2 ticks, stops you out. Now, that's what I like Bookmap for. So there's liquidity at 92 up here. There's liquidity at 94. So for me, I think this is more likely to go up. But it saved me a loss there. Would I have taken that trade? I prefer it a little bit higher, but do you know what I mean? But look at that, see? Now, I don't know, maybe it's dropping again. Maybe it's going to tease some more people into it. I don't know. Maybe there's aggressive sellers pushing it down. But for me, there's very little liquidity. Now, liquidity isn't the be-all and end-all, but it does tell you if there's any stops or take profit areas down here. And there is very little. So, that would keep me out of a trade. I mean, to be honest, it's congested to shit anyway, so you just can't get in there anyway, but look at this. We've had all this price action and not a sniff, really. That's the only sort of failure, but it's just congested and I'm just a bit unsure. Now I can see this and we've had that measured leg. I'd say, yeah, but for me, it's getting a little bit congested. But once it starts to go, then I'm thinking, okay, where's it likely to come to? So, new low. Triangle at 1, triangle at 1. There's a failure there, which is triggered, so there might be a double trap here. So if it's coming down, I think you're safe up here. So if you took that, or that one, triangular ones, it might trigger below. There might be traps galore here by the looks of things. So let's say triangle. Okay, so if you took that one, or that one, thinking you're going up, maybe not that one, but maybe that one, that's your failed second entry long, which is triggered. Your failed second entry short, which is triggered, yeah? let's see. I wouldn't be surprised if it stops that out and then pushes up. Okay, that's going to tick below, that is for sure. Which is then going to trigger a failure. So that has triggered below. So it's hit the stops for the failure, and it's hit the stops for the higher low if you think you're going up. So now if you're in this trade, I would say, I think it's going to push up and stop out that trade. It might not because it's nice and bearish. We'll see. But, I mean, you can just see that, can't you? That's about the most bearish one there, bar that. So, but if you took the lower high, you got trapped. If you took the higher low, thinking we're going up and bouncing off here, you got triggered and trapped. If you took the failed second entry short, you got triggered and stopped out. That's the trouble. There's so many shit trades there. There really is. Okay, that's worked in the end. Now, that nice big bearish bar, there's very little liquidity down here, but that's not to stop aggressive sellers going, I like that bar, let's sell. And obviously it can go down from those as well, but it needs to be a really good solid entry. I mean, that is a failure. It's a failed second entry long. It's a nice big bearish bar, but even for me, it's just too congested. And the way markets are, I wouldn't be shocked if that stopped you out. But obviously it worked in this scenario, but it's just risky. It's not a small bar either. What is it? It's 2.25, tick above, tick below. It's a quarter of a point. We're in a larger channel than you have drawn, most likely testing. Possible, but at the moment, if it is a larger channel, until we come down here, see, I tend to not do that because it may just bounce in, push up. So it may be a larger channel, it may not be. Let's just see what happens here first. I don't tend to put them in as much. I tend to leave them a bit until we've pushed down because I'll be thinking short. Now, what we've had at the moment, this little channel breaking a new low, so it may bounce off here or it may come down. But I try and leave the bigger channels until we get a further push down here, because if I put that, I'll be looking for shorts here and it may bounce. We're around the open at the moment, see, and we have had that channel with a break and a new low, so just interesting point. I've been playing with the fib retracements. They're accurate, mate. They are accurate. Measure move took place. Yeah, a lot of the times when we have a leg up here, we'll pull back 50%. I mean, we may do the. So where's the 50%? Look at that. Look where that 50% line is. We pull back. So we pushed up there from that tick to that tick. Look where that line is. A lot of cases we'll pull back 50%. Look at that. That could probably go up a touch. Where's that one? That could go down a fraction. Look at that, one tick off there. So we've pushed that, we've come back 50% pull back, and then had two legs up. So they do play a part. Not everyone uses them. Mac doesn't use them, but you know, when you've been doing them as long as Mac. So let's see what we've had the last couple of days. So we've had some quite downward movement actually for the last 3 days. That was our high of the year, well, the high of the last year and a half there. So it seems like we're making some downward movement. So that measured leg has played out, so it may come back, bounce and push up. I got no idea really. Trouble is we haven't come down to the low, so it just makes me nervous drawing these bigger channels a bit too early. Sometimes they've got me in a spot of bother. Okay, so if that breaks high and that goes short, second entry short. And that's at the, if that is valid, that's where it is. Yeah, in fact, do you know what? I think it's maybe more like a spiking channel. If anything, let's have a look. That will fit better. Let's get rid of that. Yeah, it might be a bit of a spiking channel. Tends to fit better there, and fits closer at the bottoms anyway. But see, I don't know what we're doing here at the moment. We've had a push up and push down. It's just it's a bit unclear really. I don't know whether we're ranging a bigger picture. Obviously, we got trends within. Let's have a look. Okay, so that. Okay, so. I mean, it does look like a leg and a leg. So let's see what we get here. Maybe we take a lower high if it does react to here. Looks like a leg, a break and a leg. Or it is possible it could be a bigger channel. You're looking at fail second entry short, are you? Yeah, see, trouble is if you're looking for a short, that tells me you're going long. I'm not going long. Brant thinks this is a bigger channel, which I'd probably say it is actually, in which case maybe looking for shorts, but at the moment I'm not sure whether we're ranging, whether we're bouncing off it. I don't really know what I'm doing at the moment, so in that scenario I'm just sitting tight and letting it figure itself out. Sometimes it does get a bit like this. It's hard to figure out, and some days we get days that just work beautifully. A few days ago we had that lovely upward trend. It worked perfectly. Every time it hit the top it bounced, every time it hit the bottom it bounced. Not only that, whether you believe in these bookmap things anyway, there's a lot of liquidity at the top here. So I'd say there's a chance that at some point we may end up back up here, which tells me we may be in a bit of just a larger range. I don't know. Overnight open can change it all. Yeah, that's the trouble. It's pushed up and bounced off there by the looks of things, so who knows? Who knows? The trouble is, so many times now we get these channels and we get a break and we don't get a new extreme. It's almost like things have completely changed. Even last year, throughout the summer months when traders would have been on holiday, I don't remember it being really tough. I can't remember a time where it's been this tough. Such a lack of opportunities and anything like that short. That one I did yesterday, I think Brant took the hidden, or mentioned the hidden second entry short, and then we had a failure and a second entry short. It had touched the EMA, gone in by a couple of ticks, it triggered and stopped and went up. So even even the maybe sort of 8 out of 10 trades just aren't working. You've got to take an absolute perler, something that has a perfect second entry, perfect 2 legs, something, literally, if you're going to draw the perfect trade, you've got to wait for those. So who said they were looking for a long? Fail second entry long. Now there is a fail second entry long there. Who was it said they're looking for that? Exponential trade. I'm looking for a fail second. Sorry, fail second entry short. That's it there, actually. That's one there. Let's see how this goes. Let's see, we've got close to these lows, but we haven't. So whether we'll have a break here and come down, I don't know. I'm not a fan of waiting for these breaks anymore where we have a break and then a new low, because so many times they're not happening. I think you've done all right there, mate. We almost took the engulfing bar, but didn't. Yeah. Trouble is, with all this down stuff, it's just... I mean, normally we're taught that most of the time when you get a break out of these channels, they make a new extreme. In other words, we're still looking for an area to short, so taking that, it's a reasonably big bar as well. ATR is a little bit higher than normal today, so it's a 3-point bar, so tick above, tick below. It's 3.5 point risk. So it's a little bit larger than you want to take there. And you may have got 2 points, but it's tight. Nowhere near. 2 points is up here. It looks like it might make it. I'd say there may be a couple of legs out there, so it's still possible it could come down. I don't know, but if it's a range day, who knows, it could do anything. So I'd say that's going to make 2 points if you did take that. My channel has a break and a new low. Does it? See, there's so many ways you can draw this. So I'm assuming in that case you haven't drawn the bigger channel, so you've got this, a break and a new low. Yeah, so I'm not a fan of those, really. The bigger, until they're a little bit more obvious. We've got a leg down, 2 leg correction, another channel break, new low, push up. Okay, right, this makes sense. That's why I don't like drawing those channels, because sometimes you can be thinking low, 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 but look at this. That is pushing in there beautifully. So yeah, channel break, new low. So that might have been your trade there. But the trouble is, look at it, it's just sideways. So that, it's a nice looking channel now. That's why I try and avoid these bigger channels. Because if you've got them drawn, straight away you're thinking, looking for a short, looking for a short. So, nice channel going. So maybe we're arranging a bit. So that measured leg played out, that measured leg played out. So maybe we get something here. To the bounce, mind touching, yes, it's close. Not the worst trade though, no. Yeah, see, now you take that away, there's a higher low there and a failure. So when you take the bigger channel away, that looks quite attractive. That's the trouble. You start marking these bigger channels too soon and it changes your focus from down to up. So if you look at that, we've got a clear channel. It's clearly working there. We had a break and a new low. Push up, pull back, push up, nice and bullish above there. Maybe wait for that one to appear, maybe this one, and then maybe jump in or something here, tick whatever. But I mean, look at it moving nice. Lance, your channel starts in the middle of nowhere. Okay. How's about that? Now it starts from there. 2 legs of correction. Try to go higher again. The trouble is these channels don't always work perfectly. So, you know, it's a bit, it swings and roundabouts, mate, sometimes. I mean, for me, that's working nice in there. You know, it is what it is. It's down to you to sort of put your channels. They may be right, they may not be. It may not make a difference. You know. So let's say then that is a little bit of sideways. Let's have a look. There's a little bit of sideways congestion there. So maybe we drop out of this, retest this, and there you go. Touch, touch, break, new low. However you want to draw it anyway. Okay, that's clearly working beautifully in there. So no argument there. Doesn't look any better than that. See, I see on Bookmap lots of liquidity up here. So I think there's a good chance we're going to work our way up. So whether we get, I don't know, maybe another couple of legs and then another leg up, I think it's likely. We've had a leg down and a leg down. I think we'll have a leg up and a leg up. I can't see very little liquidity down here. Below here. Liquidity I can see on Bookmap is around 92, 95. So it's up here. So one leg there, maybe an overshoot. Leg, leg. Small channel break, new low, push it up. Oh, excuse me. I had some affiliates yesterday. Whoever signed up for some new evaluations using my code yesterday, much appreciated. Okay, so there is a dark spot here, and these dark spots price usually moves through relatively quick. Hold on a minute, what is going on here? Where's price? Where's price on here? All right. I was looking at something different there, I am. Sorry. Different channel on there. Yeah, I expect this to hit 80. Interesting, interesting. Maybe we get a couple of legs back here, be nice. Yeah, Bran. I think if once we get to the stages where we got maybe half a dozen PA accounts, maybe $5,000, $7,000, $8,000 in each, then maybe it gives you the confidence to sort of hold a bit. Well, not confidence, the sort of cushion, if you like. Yeah, a lot of trades I take on an eval that I wouldn't take on a PA. Doesn't make sense really, but you know that's the thing about the PAs. An eval, if all you're risking is, I don't know, $30, it's not a major issue, is it? So okay, so we got the push up, we got a break, we've also got a little what's it. So if we can drop down here, maybe. The reason I drew that is there is some liquidity there, so it may pick up some buy orders here and push it up. So if we can finish low, that is nice. So if we can finish low, my issue is we've bounced off that midline a bit, but I still would expect it to go up from here. So let's...
Order submitted.
There is liquidity at 78, which is up here. So I think if this ends up bullish, I think you've got to take this. It's not looking very bullish though, is it? Nope.
Order cancelled.
It's just, I mean, a channel, what happens? You make a break, new line so many times, like a year, 2 years ago, you get two legs down, push up every time. They just work beautifully. But now it's just, we'll push up in a channel, we'll just break and drop. It just doesn't make sense. I mean, you can't argue with that channel. If there's a channel on here today, that is by far the best one. It works perfectly. What happens? We drop. Why? Maybe we're having a leg, push up leg, and then a bigger picture, possibly. I don't know. Yeah, see, Mag doesn't use those, but look, it's clearly bounced off that 50%. But even so, it might be where you'd have a pullback and then another leg up, but that's not what you call a pullback, is it? That's a reversal. See, you never see Mac mentioning these, do you? In fact, he did. He pulled one up, didn't he, about a few months ago? Just somebody mentioned it. Maybe you could trade that back up and call it a failed breakout of this. It's a bit of a big breakout, isn't it? 3 red bars. There you go. 1, 2, 3. Take your trade. Make your points. Yeah, see? No, that's the thing. Who was it mentioned that? Jay. Who's trying to trap you in here? Nobody. They just go, don't they? I mean, if you waited for the 3 bars, 1, 2, maybe that one, you put it in there, sold it there, waited for your 2 points. There's your 2 points. So if you waited for that to finish, and then, I mean, maybe you wouldn't take that one. I mean, maybe even take this one. I don't know, but I don't know, maybe. I mean, that to me, once it goes below the EMA, the trouble is, it maybe not the scenario you want to trade it there because you quite likely expect maybe a push up. But, you know, if we're actually bouncing off here and pushing up 3 bars, take a trade, 2 points. Your risk would be up, your stop would be up here, it'd be intact. So that's one that would have worked. 1, 2, 3. Dropped it in here, that would have worked. Maybe 1, 2, 3. I'd probably go after that one, drop it in, that one would have worked. 1, 2, 3. Well, I don't know, maybe here. Dropped in here, 2 points, that one would have worked. Would I have put it in here after 3 bars? Probably not, because I'm expecting to bounce around here. But the thing is, no one's trapping you. There's no traps there. They just go. I think fibs are where it is. They definitely play a part. They definitely play a part. But I suppose, you know, it doesn't necessarily mean... I mean, if this is a range, you'd expect it to go from top to the bottom. We've gone from the bottom to the top from the bottom. There's a fair chance we're going to go from the top. What I would have expected that to do is have a couple of legs and then push up to here. That's what I would have expected, but it's just unpredictable. I mean, whether we'll have a bigger channel... The trouble is, a lot of the times it'll do this, and then come sometime this afternoon, you'll draw that and it'll fit perfectly. So it's hard to say at the moment. But I wouldn't have expected that after this. If you'd have asked me what would I expect when we get a break here, I'd expect to bounce a couple of times and then push up some more. Maybe just a new high. But I wouldn't have expected that. I mean, you could say there's sort of 2 legs within there. From here to here. Yeah, it's about right. Maybe a tick lower. But a lot of cases you'll have you'll have a measured leg. Within that leg, we'll have a couple of legs back and another leg. So you'll have the bigger leg. You'll have 2 legs within that bigger leg and another 2 legs within that second leg. But I didn't expect that to just drop. I'm going to mark these if I ever see them. So 1, 2, 3. If I waited for that bar to close, I don't know. I'd probably wait for that bar to close and put my trade in here. So if I waited for that bar and just sold there, I'd make 2 points. I mean, you can clearly see that's going into a tight channel, can't you? Here, so 1, 2, 3. I'll probably go after that one, on top of that one. Put an order in here. 2 points, that clearly worked. Anywhere else? I probably wouldn't here because we're coming to the lows. This is a little bit too wide. All I'm thinking of is these channels here. Wait for 3 bars. That one, maybe wait because it pulled back a bit, but when we finish that one, that clearly made 2 points. Same again. 1, 2, 3, you jumped in here, clearly made 2 points. 1, 2, 3, you jumped in here, clearly made 2 points. No one's trying to trap you. 1, 2, 3. Once you push below there, maybe drop it in there. But how many? 1, 2, 3. Look at that. They're just everywhere. Sometimes it seems a bit too good to be true, but I think you've got to experiment it. Maybe if you're bored one evening, you get on a demo and you try it and see if it works. If it works 10 times in 10, I'd say it's pretty much not going to be luck. And if you're trading just 1-to-1, what have you got to be right 60% of the time? Taking away fees, something like that. See if you can get it right 6 times out of 10. Maybe work. So let's change these colours and see how many times we can get that to work today. One, 2, 3. Probably wouldn't do that one. I'd probably wait for that one actually, and then drop it in there. I'm going to mark this day by day. I'll just see if anything comes of it. I'll mark a number on the end of the day, how many times it worked. 1, 2, 3. I'll put it in there. So 1 bar, 2 bar, 3. What I mean is ones that go into these tight channels. But in all fairness, if it works 20 times in a row, just promise me you won't copy my idea, yeah? Because if everybody starts doing it, they'll just program the algorithms to shag us all up again like they're doing now. So just pretend I haven't told you it, right? So work there, work there. This is too wide and too... I mean, the quite steep ones. From a hindsight is you're going to mark every time there's 3 bars in a row. Would you have no rules in place for when Y would take 3 big bars? I don't know. It's more of a visual thing, isn't it? Well, I'll try it as and when it happens, but It's just for a bit of fun, bit of curiosity while I'm sat here, just to stem the boredom. Okay, so 1, 2, 3. That's 3 bounces off there. So is that a trade back to the EMA? Possibly. I'm not a fan of picking bottoms. I'd have preferred it if it came down a bit more and sat on top there, but it may work. We've had a bit of a channel. Oh, disappeared. I'm just not a fan of picking tops and bottoms, so I just try and avoid them. I'll wait till I got a couple of 100,000 in the PA. So we've had a break, a couple of pushes down to a new low. I'm not a fan of picking bottom, sorry. I'd say get rid of the EMA, ignore it, take 3 bars in a row after a break. Yeah. I mean, if the third bar stopped at the EMA, I mean, you've got to deal with the context. I mean, if we're moving up here, that would be okay to take. There's an overshoot here. So as it's coming back quite sharply, you would probably say, well, that's okay to take. We've come off the bottom here. Fortunately, it's a little bit too wide, isn't it? In fact, do you know what? You may even say that could even be a break, which is why. Yeah, okay. So usually go off these first 2 swings. Touch, fits nice there, more or less. And then maybe you say that's a break. It goes sideways, don't you? So it sort of is in a way. So, but if you get maybe 3, possibly 4, if you whatever. But usually these types of channels move quite well and quite freely, and there's no traps in them. I wouldn't do it there because of these bottoms. But I'll just mark them as and when, see if anything. But they've got to be in at quite a steep angle, which tells me it's quite a strong move. So in these 3 occasions, it clearly did it. If it works 20 times in a row, I don't know. Maybe I trade one of me PAs on one contract and try it with real money, see if it works. I don't know. Anything's got to be better than what we're doing now. We're just sat here, aren't we? We sit here for 2 hours, get shafted. Sit there for another 2 hours, get shafted again. And then maybe you get lucky. So, channel down here, we've had a break new low, pushed up, maybe a little pullback. You could say that's a hidden second entry short, which is triggered. Is it going to push up? I don't know. I'm just thinking maybe we may be starting to get a downward bias. If you get below here, then maybe. Yeah, it's possible, isn't it? That's the trouble. It's hard to draw these now, but in an hour's time, when you've bounced off the top and come down the bottom and bounced off the top again, you know, a lot of the times at the end of the day, you can pick these bigger things out. The trouble is we're only looking for small moves within these. So this type of wide channel, really, you can long and short these, can't you? This is just something you're probably putting at the end of the day. But at the moment, it's only touched it once and twice. I mean, to be fair, you can get any one line to touch 2 points every 100% of the time. So maybe just working out that we may be in the downward direction. So we've pushed up. We bounced off this line, another push up. So that might be a higher low. If it breaks above here, I would say it's likely going to push up. Leg up, leg up. It's quite a big bar, and I just don't know. 2.5 points. EMA's a bit flat. I don't know. I think it's just a bit risky. I think it's probably going to make another leg up, but I don't know. I think if it breaks above here, we may get another leg up. Okay, maybe we're getting our strong move again. If we get another decent bar up here, may jump in on that. Here we go, right before our very eyes. So let's see when that finishes. if it finishes. Let's make it pink. Gotta be 3 bars, that's the rule. Oh, too big. 1 leg, 2 legs. Might be a measured leg there, 1 leg, 2 legs. And then maybe down some more, who knows. So let's get rid of that. Second entry short. Trouble is, it's above the EMA. EMA's flat, slightly tipping up, so maybe this is a failure. Second entry short triggered failure. 1 leg, 2 leg. Where would another leg go to? 1 leg. Up to that high, so possible failure. We've come off the bottoms, haven't we? 1 leg, 2 leg. I'd at least expect to get up here in another leg. That second entry short's triggered, see? That's a bit weak, isn't it, that? I won't want to take a long above here because if we only get 2 legs, there isn't much. Okay, so that has triggered. Yeah, it's possible. It's just still a bit early though. These are areas where you can get trapped if... So there is a second entry short which is triggered. There's also a failed second entry short which is triggered. Now if I was a betting man, I'd say if we've come off the bottoms, we may make a couple of legs. So I think it's likely we're going to stop out that. But the measured leg only comes to about here, so there's not a lot of room. Could be a leg down, 2 legs of correction, another leg down. That would be nice if it does do that. That means we'll be coming right down here. Let's have a look. Where's the lowest liquidity level I've got? Okay, there's 730 orders down here at 50. So if you have a leg from here to here, 2 legs of correction, where's that going to take us down to? 50, funnily enough. Okay, so if we can get below these levels here, then I'm thinking then maybe bearish. And maybe that is going to work over time. That's why I think these liquidity levels are useful. It's very strong here. There's 600 orders. There's 730 orders down here. Just a fraction above here, which is where this measured leg. So maybe we've got a leg, 2 legs of correction, and a separate leg. Let's see if we can get 2 legs out of this. 1 leg, where's that going to take us to? There. Close to yesterday's lows. So, let me just get rid of this now so it doesn't... Let's have a look. 1 leg, 2 leg. Let's pull that out of the way. Just a bit choppy now, see? I've come to the conclusion if it ever does this, then I'm just staying out of it. There is, there's the failure there. There is a second entry long there below the EMA, which is triggered. See, I don't know, maybe if you flick over the 10,000 tick, it gives you a bigger picture. Maybe I should start doing that. Leg down, one leg, two legs of correction, another leg down. Maybe I should have the 10,000 tick chart up. I used to, but then I stopped it for some reason. I don't quite know why. One leg, two leg. Okay, let's see if this two leg works. It looks like it is. Box, get lost. Okay, this is where I expect it to get to. One leg, second entry long. So one leg, second entry long. Okay. Interesting. If we can bounce here and push below the EMA and give us a lower high, I don't think that's a bad trade. Things are telling me at the moment we seem to be having slightly more of a downward bias, but are we? That's the trouble, because we had this initially and we've only we haven't even taken it all off, so I don't know at the moment. I don't know. In fact, this type of thing, I might have a go at doing an evaluation like this. Maybe if I'm bored one evening, wait for 3 bars and then just drop it in. Go for 3-4 contracts, maybe just for a bit of fun. Okay, interesting. That's reacted to there. It's close to that measured move, and that's close enough. It's only a couple of ticks off, so interesting. Bearish. If it can get a lower high, let's just check there isn't a channel up here and I'm getting trapped. Because there may be, actually. Yeah, you're going to be careful there. Mind you, there might be people thinking about going long there and they're getting trapped. So what I will say is the liquidity is stronger down here. It's strong at 65, which is at the bottom of the channel, and down here as well. So I think, as we know, prices move towards liquidity. There is some 77, but not enough. So the strongest at 65, there's nearly 600 orders. At 50, there's 729 orders. So I think it's more likely to come down. So with this line, if we can push below the EMA, maybe give us a decent signal bar, I think we're likely to come down. There seems to be a leg there with a 2-leg correction, and I'd say it's probably a leg down here. And funnily enough, this is taking us down here to where there's strong liquidity. And the traders that make up these strong liquidity levels are obviously big holders. Looks too wide. Well, that's what I say. It does now. That's why I haven't drawn the full channel. But once we've had a load more price action, if we go like this, quite often at the end of the day we go, oh, there we go, it's all fitted in there. So the only reason I've put it there out is just to see if it does bounce there. Now, 1 or 2 ticks above there was that measured leg, 1 leg up, 2 legs up. So just out of curiosity, if it moves a couple of ticks higher and then drops, it's played that measured leg out. But, you know, I'm just, at the moment, I'm just speculating on what I'm seeing. I'm not prepared to take a trade. I'm just thinking, okay, is it doing this? Is it doing this? Is it likely? It's possible. Okay, so that's more or less hit that measured leg. So not only that, if you took a short there, bearish bar, it triggered you and stopped you out. It's just too early to do trades like that. That's why I drew this, because there is a possibility it might not be working down, it may be working up. So there's a failure there, which has trapped that short. Trouble is, it's a little bit congested. Talking about the green one. Oh, this one here. You think this one's too wide? Touch, 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 touch. Since we're working there, looking really nice actually. If you put that to that red bar there, drop that down a frazione. Don't know, looks alright to me. Maybe it's like that. Now there is liquidity at 78, which is this midline, a fraction above the midline. There's 300 orders there, so as we're nearly up, I think it's likely we're going to hit there. Yeah, it's just quite unpredictable at the moment, isn't it? I mean, we can have our thoughts and theories, but until things become a bit clear, there's not a great deal you can do. So again, easy to see because that second entry long is in the centre of the pattern. What second entry long you on about, mate? You on about that one there? Yeah. So you could take that one. The trouble is the EMA is flat. It's below the EMA. So you just don't know. It could. It's hard to read at the moment. And you could say we're making sort of. It almost looks a bit sideways as well, doesn't it? Sort of touched a couple of times here. Touch, close, close, close there. So it almost looks a bit sideways. So it's just. I'm trying to wait for obvious trades because I just get sucker punched if I don't. You know, my P accounts are just approaching the cushion level now where the Apex stops following me. So once I can get up to $5,000, which hopefully might be next month, I can start taking $2,000 from each of them, which is $10,000 a month. But I have taken money from some of them, but the trouble is I've got it precariously low there. No, that's a bad entry. I'm not sure which one you're on about. Second entry long. It's just friggin' market, I tell you what. Fries your bloody brain, doesn't it? Let's get rid of that for now. Let's try and tidy it up a bit. Sometimes you have too much and it just distorts it a bit. So we've had this initial push up and an overshoot, and we're coming down. Maybe if we get into that, we've had a break in a new low. Now we've pushed up, little break, new high, pull down, little break, new low. push up. I don't know what the hell's going on at the moment, in all honesty. Okay, so touch there, touch there, touch there, touch there. Touch there, touch there, touch there, touching here. It looks quite a nice channel, that. But is it going to continue high? I don't know. We went up so far and then came down, so I don't know. I haven't got a bloody clue what's going on at the moment. As I say, I might as well close my eyes and hit one of these two buttons. I've got more chance of making a trade. Okay, so there's a failure if you want to take that one. There is a short there, so that one worked okay, probably because that bar's there. We've come back to the MA. It's only a first entry. Are we going higher? I got no bloody idea. We seem to be this midline of this big channel, a big range channel, seems to be holding prices. Trouble is, if you don't take that, rock it up. If you take it, it'll trigger you, come down, stop you out, and then rock it up. Let's get rid of that for now. So we've come down here to the bottom and we've pushed up, came back, bounced again, pushed up. So I haven't got a clue what's going on at the moment. Let's see if Max gives us anything yet and shed any light. Yes. In fact, he marked a couple of precarious trades yesterday, Mac did. Yeah. Yeah, so if you took that one there, you're going to get your arse handed on a plate. If that holds and pushes up, I'd be interested in taking a long there, but I don't think it's going to stop that out all day long, that is. Anybody that would have taken that trade, market's just going to go F you. Okay, so Mac, that's Mac. So that first trend, so he's got that same one that I've got, but he's got a couple of breaks. That doesn't even make much sense, Max, really. Let's have a look at that. So he's got this, but he's got it more from there. With that being a bit of a break there and a break there, I don't know. Anyway, we've had a break of it in a new low, so that's by the by. So that's interesting. Prices are holding at the moment, so I'll be sure. Oh, yeah, I was going to say I'll be surprised if that doesn't take that out. So let's just see. I can probably open this up a touch. Okay, so this to me is a channel. We're clearly working in that area. So one leg, two leg. Maybe this is worth a go. If it finishes bullish, I think it's got to be done.
Order submitted. Order cancelled. Order submitted.
It's got to finish bullish. It does look like two nice legs.
Order cancelled.
Okay, we seem to have a channel. One leg looks like a beautiful 2 legs back. Now, it may just bloody rocket up, I don't know. I mean, it seems to be working in there. Max got that, and he has got that as a little overshoot. So that continues up there. Let's have a look. Yeah, he's got that. So he's got this down. He's got that as a break. Coming down. He's got that. I don't know what the hell he's got here. He's got that up like that. And he's got that from there. It's unusual. Yeah, that's one of the oddest looking channels I've ever seen, in all fairness. I don't think it matters anyway, but 1 leg, 2 legs. A nice measured leg, that. I know traders will just buy that. We're not quite there yet. See, if we do seem to be bouncing off this, maybe that's gone high enough. Maybe this is going to trap some longs and come down. It's a failure, isn't it? 1 leg. Is that 2 nice legs up, is it? 1 leg. No, it's made more than 2 legs. Oh, interesting. Do I take that
Order
as a short?
submitted.
Failure. No.
Order cancelled. It's congested, isn't it? I push down, try to go once, I go twice, failure, see if that triggers. I don't know. It's unclear, isn't it? It's just chopped city at the moment. All I can do is just sit and watch, unfortunately. I hope we get lucky. As tempting as it is to go along there, if it finishes bullish, you just can't, can you? It's just congested. May trigger you, may come down. Oh, who knows? High or low. Oh, well, you can't really call that a high or low at the moment. Second entry long is more really there, but it's an inside bar. I think the high or low would have to be a bit further up, really, wouldn't it? I don't know. It's just so dangerous. Unless the trade is obvious, so many times it's just going to finish weird, isn't it? Unless the trade's really obvious, it's likely to mess you. It might just go off without us. If it gives us a higher low, it might not be a bad way to go. Yeah, that's the trouble, these areas. It is frustrating. It comes down, doesn't it? 2 legs down. As I say, I know traders, that type of trade, the gorilla guy, he'd have just dropped a trade in here, put it below here, and try to get lucky. And it worked. You'd have got, what, 4? I don't know. He'd have dropped his order in here somewhere. And up to now, he's got 4 points odd. It is frustrating when we don't get an entry. Just 2 legs down, a little bit sideways, and rockets up. I don't know why. I don't fully understand why all the setups have almost vanished. I don't see how it makes a difference with volume. Less volume doesn't necessarily mean less setups. I've traded in low volume days before and had great days, so I don't know. Let's flick onto the 1,000 tick chart. Does that show us any setups, any better setups? Okay, second entry long there. Oh no, tell her you got that there, but one leg, two leg down. No real thingy there. We looked at that second entry long, didn't we? Just gives you twice as much bars. I don't know, sometimes it just may give you, I notice sometimes it gives you setups. Interesting, so two legs down, push up. If you say that, that's triggered. Well, even when we've had plenty of volume, it's still, but I mean, if you flick over to the 1,000, obviously there's a lot more bars, but I don't know. It's been like this for a while, isn't it? If that was a little bit more bullish, sorry, a little bit closer on to the top of that, I may have taken that. But it could be a couple of legs. You just don't know, do you? See, there's some very, very strong liquidity down here. Around about the 65, which is at the bottom of this range. So it does make you wonder whether we're bouncing off. Maybe we're going in this section here. It's possible. I'd probably inclined to take that a bit lower, maybe to there. See, there is a possibility we could end up push up, leg, a bigger picture to take us back up. It's hard to read today, I've got to say. We may end up having something like that. Who knows? Okay, folks, I'm going to take a quick 5-minute break. I'm going to make myself a cup of tea, get myself a drink of a glass of water, and I'll be back in 5 minutes.
Okay. Right. Interesting. Higher low there. One leg, 2 legs down. Higher low. Now. Interesting. I would say there's a fair chance you could get there, which would get us up to here. I did. Would I have taken that one? After that 2 leg down and push up? Absolutely I would have done. Oh well, sometimes it happens, doesn't it? Sometimes it happens. That's a shame. So, I wouldn't be thinking about trading this as a failed breakout because of this leg up and 2 legs of correction. Whether it will or not, I don't know, but what is a double trap? Let me find one. Okay, let's move this over. See this here? That, first entry, second entry. There's a second entry short there, which is triggered, yeah? And there's also a failed second entry short, which is triggered. Now, in this case, it triggered that, dropped down there and stopped this out. Now, if it turned up there and stopped this out, that would be a double trap. Just 2 areas where you got trapped in a short and trapped in a long. Sometimes there's multiple ones. But just where you can get into a short and get into a long. Same there. There's a second entry short there, which triggered and got stopped out. There's also a failed second entry short there, which triggered and got stopped out. So just areas of multiple traps. So whenever it gets a bit congested like this, you just got to stay away for it. Wait for it to sort of fluently move a little bit. Just risky areas there. That one worked in the end, but the trouble is EMA's flat. It's below. But as we come off the bottoms, you'd think we'd be more likely going to push up. But it depends how risk averse you are, whether you take that one. I wouldn't be shocked if Mac marks it, but he doesn't tonight. And also after that, then there's a failure there. So push up, triangle once, triangle twice, fail second entry short. As we're moving up again, you may think one leg up, another leg up, so you may take that. But a little bit congested there, a little bit congested there. But leg up. Whenever we get a leg up like that and 2 nice legs of correction, we often get another leg. And they're really accurate. So let's put that to there. And I wouldn't be surprised if that gets right to the nearest tick. 3 green bars. Where's the 3 green bars? I don't know if I'd do it here, mate. 1, 2, 3. I'm not sure if I'd do it. No, I tend to like it when it just goes quickly, because that is a strong move straight down. 1, 2, 3. And if they're tight, there is just after a break, isn't it? But I don't know, maybe, because if you think you've had a leg up and a break, then maybe if you're confident you got a leg up, maybe you can wait for it. If you think about it, I'll tell you now, if you think about it, if you look at the penguin guy, he'll say there's a leg up, 2 attempts to go lower, and he'll go long. But what he might do is wait for that bar to move first. So he will take a bigger risk, but he'll wait for a movement in the direction. But yeah. I think you'll get trapped and you'll make better trade decisions every year you trade. You'll just get better and better. It's like anything. It's a fine tuning process. The more mistakes you make, that's how you learn from your mistakes. You know, you take certain mistakes. But I see this all the time. We all see this. A leg up when we get 2 legs of correction and we start to move up again. Usually the higher low is the trade to take. So we have a push up. We made 2 legs of correction. We push up, come back, bounce off the EMA, bullish again. And the thing I like about that as well is there's a second entry short there, which is trapped. So once you get that and that pushes out, if I'd have been here, I'd have taken that one, because after this 2-legged correction, there's a higher low there. And even if you come out of the tops, 2 points comfortably to the top. So I would have taken that one.
if that had ticked above there as well, it would have been a second entry, which even more. But so if you count these two as well, you could say that's a failure. But you can zero out whatever it is anyway. It's after 2 legs of correction. It's a higher low, so I like them a little bit further down. But as we haven't made a new high from this, I'd probably take that and come out a couple of ticks before there. And there's comfortably 2 points on top of that. Yeah, there's 2 points to the right to the top there. So, yeah, it's just multiple traps. Whenever it starts to get, the frustrating thing is, it's usually areas where you expect people to get into trades, and these channels, these are areas where we get into trades, and obviously the EMAs as well. So, for instance, this, if we had a little bit of a break here. You may be thinking, I'll take the lower high there, and what happens? It triggers you, stops you out, and then gives you a better bar there. Now, in a lot of cases, I may have taken that, but if you look left, it's just congested. You would expect, usually, if it goes sideways, when you get the nicest looking bar in that case, that one there, it usually would go down. That's probably, if you're going to wait to go short, you wouldn't touch that one. You leave that one. You might wait for the one to trigger the rest out, and then down you go. Trouble is, it's congested at the moment. I'm just extra cautious at the moment. Double trapped isn't part of. You hear Mac talking about double traps. You do hear Mac talking about traps. He's got a section. If you watch in his videos, he's got a section about traps. It's just something that happens. It's just why you got to be careful, because once it starts to go congested like this, that's where those traps can appear. And I believe it's down to the algorithms. If there's a weak bar, a lower high, which is that one, algorithms, I don't know, I'm just guessing here, might see that and trigger it, and then buy the market to take out stops. So I don't know the technicals of it. Right, see a second inch long at the key entry point, bigger channel. What do you think? Yeah, it's possible. I'd certainly like this, put it that way. And the more I see these and mark them, they're so blooming accurate. So, yeah, I don't see why not. Touch here. If we can get down and bounce around here, yeah, it needs to go a bit lower, but yeah, I think that'll be okay. I mean, even if it's 2 separate legs, we've had a 2-leg of correction and a higher low, so I'm expecting to push up to here. But unfortunately, I bet it won't even trigger below. So many times it just doesn't trigger you, but it goes where you want anyway. And the time you do jump in here, it stops you out. So it is frustrating. But it's bounced off here multiple times. So it may be a fell breakout. So that big bearish bar there, it may trigger you and then create a lower high, and it'll come down. So you've got to be careful in these channels. Because sometimes it's, I think it more follows the range than the channel, so it's just so hard. This is where experience over time comes in. Unfortunately, it didn't give you an option, but it just happens more and more there. You pretty much know where it's going, and you've got to wait for an entry, but it doesn't give you one. Now, whether we'll have another leg down here or not, I don't know, but how many times does it go exactly where we're sure it's going to go, but we don't get an entry? I'm not saying traps aren't about... I can't see the one word. It's behind a little icon thing. Entry double trapped isn't a thing. I don't know. I tend to not pay attention too much. You can see them, and usually it's where you get 2 weak setups. See, that one held. I pretty much knew that was going to hold. That's the high of this. It's a nice big solid bar, but that's a weak entry. It's a second entry short, and it's a weak entry. And also there's a failure there, and that's a weak entry as well. So that got stopped out, and then eventually, when all the weak traders, so I suppose, got taken out, we ended up getting a nice big bearish bar, which sort of engulfed that whole lot, really. And that, I think, I didn't take it because it's just all sideways there, but You know, I see this all the time. It'll go sideways, so you get a really good bar, and then it'll just drop. That's where maybe the more experienced traders are going to jump in when all this shit's happened. But yeah, I think someone was just asking about the double trapped, really. It's just where traders are getting trapped. Oh, okay, so maybe we get a second entry long here. So you got to be aware as well. There is a possibility it could come back into here. I don't think it will. I will ignore those double traps. Just ignore weak trades. Wait for something obvious, something solid. We had that channel up there. We had 2 legs back, and it ummed and ahed a bit and then pushed up strongly. Had a pullback, and in having that pullback, it created a trap where there's going to be some shorts, and then we ended up quite bullish above the EMA. So that was the high low. We got a leg up and a leg back, so you'd at least expect another leg up, and there's your trade there. Unfortunately, I was making myself a cup of tea. It is Yorkshire tea, so I do forgive myself, but yeah, leg up, 2 legs of correction. So I fully expect it to get up to here. So if I can find a setup here, I'm quite confident it's going to continue up to this area. And I marked this earlier, wherever it was down here, and it worked right to the nearest tick. And unfortunately, I'd say a lot of experienced traders can see these happening, and they don't even wait for it to get back. They just jump in and buy it. So I don't know. There is a second entry long there, but it's just too far from the EMA. Is it going to work? I'd say so. Because I dare say there's going to be some stops above here, because there's going to be some traders short in that. But these are areas where you get trapped because it's just too far from the EMA. Now, whether it will or not, I don't know. You might be safe because there are traders who are probably going to buy from there up. But unfortunately, we wait for a setup bar. A lot of traders will maybe, if they think the market's going to come down here, they'll just drop a trade in here. We wait for a signal bar, so we wait for the move to already start to happen before we get in. A lot of traders weren't second entry long. I mean, it looks like a short that failed on us yesterday. Right, yeah. So that's triggered. The second entry long has triggered. Let's see if it comes down. We may have a leg and a leg. If it's a strong market and we pretty much know where it's going to go, it may not come down. Trouble is, if you get in it, it'll stiff you. But also, it could be going a bit sideways, so it may go up a bit, come down a bit, a few times first. Although it looks quite bullish, that bar, it could come back down to this level. Could do. We could get something like this. Oh, let's get that a bit proper. Yeah. We could come leg down and leg down. It could drop here and then push up and sit on here, in which case it stopped that out. It's a weak bar, that is. Although it is a second entry long, it's not where you want to be taking it. And the conditions at the moment, these are trades that just get you into trouble. Guaranteed when you don't get in on them, they move. Why I will think that may be a bit safer is because leg, correction, leg, pretty much know we're going to get up there, but it's a weak entry, really. Too far from the top of this, too far from the EMA. Now, it may work, but I wouldn't want to be in this trade, put it that way, especially as that bar's come back now and it's struggling to get up. So I wouldn't be shocked if we come down a bit. Stop that out, and then when it stops it out, it'll likely go up. Now, there is very strong liquidity, 83, quite strong liquidity at 83, which funnily enough is there right where that measured move is. So if you see that leg, 2 legs of correction and another leg working up, these are just, I think these are just little, I don't know, little clues left around. There's quite likely going to be a measured leg. There's also a lump of liquidity. In fact, yeah, 82.5 to 83. Yeah, which is there, probably a touch lower actually, around about here, which is just before that measured leg. Yeah, so if you did take that second entry long, I think it's I think it's possible that's going to get stopped out. You may be lucky, but it could be a leg and a leg. If we can get down here and finish bullish, then. But you've just got to keep in mind as well that we could be fading this range because we've touched it a few times. Close enough here, I don't know. But with the leg and the two legs of correction, for me, we're going up. I can also see liquidity as well. There's some at 81, which is above that high. And 82.5, there's some at 83. All this area up here. So if we can get two legs down, also then we might confirm this channel a bit more. But it does look like, I don't know whether the channel's right, but it's certainly a leg and another leg. It doesn't, we don't really need that channel. We got a leg up there, two legs of correction, another leg up. This is where we need to get down to. So if you took that second entry long, you got stiffed. What do you think about the third entry long? I don't know much about. I don't know whether they help work. I don't know. I got into a discussion with a guy once. He said, "Well, surely third entry longs are better than second entry longs." I don't know. I don't hear Mac talk about third entry longs. I don't know. If you've got a third entry long, surely you're starting into a channel, aren't you? I don't know. I don't know. Yeah, so even if that works out there, I'm still not inclined to take it. I'd much prefer to drop below and sit on there. Because I took a trade like this yesterday. It was a little bit further away from the air. It was that short. Remember, the one I took, there was two pushes up and a short, and it triggered me and just shut up. So, that is a second entry long, and it's also a failure. So I don't know what I'd like to do here. I'm not doing nothing. I'll tell you why. It is a second entry long. Sorry. It is a failure, but it's also congested. So I think that makes it a bit dangerous. I'd much prefer it to drop. I wouldn't be shocked if it triggers your drops and then. So I think trade setups need to be really A1 at the moment. And for me, it's just sideways there. There's probably, I don't know, there's probably some mixed feelings. Is this a range? Are we fading it or are we pushing up? Yeah, they do, yeah. Does it really? Yeah. If I would listen to Al Brooks, he's almost like the Grandmaster, isn't he? In a sense, Mac's sort of like I don't know, maybe the fourth Dan, and Al Brooks is maybe the 10th Dan, isn't he? So, in karate terms or martial art terms, whichever way you look at it. I should watch more of Al Brooks actually, because I'm pretty sure I can pick up some extra tips. And he's almost like your favourite granddad, isn't he? Yes, if you took that one, triggered, stopped out. I don't think that's a terrible trade, but I'm not interested. It may go up. It's sort of like a visual two legs, but it could trigger you and come down a bit more. It's not at the bottom of here. It depends where you put this. I don't know. It's just a bit risky for me.
Trades every pullback. Does he really? I'll have to watch a bit more of him, actually. Yeah, see, I still expect that to get up to here. So maybe that's working. If it can get above here, I think it's for sure. Unfortunately, it's just... I think if that finishes bullish, I think it's off to the top. Yeah, see, I'll be nervous now, I would. If I took that. I think it will still push up. Let's have a look. So, depending on how you took that, I don't even think you'd have got a point out of it. Yeah, I'll put that channel back, see if that's starting to look like a channel again. Yeah, I kind of like that. And now I've put that there, I think it's possible that that may continue sideways a little bit more before it goes up. Maybe there's just a bit of a spike in channel. Let's have a look at that, see if that works all right. Yeah, there may be a bit of a spike in channel. Touch nice on there, touch, so it may be okay. Yeah, see, I think there'll be some traders jumping in there, but it may trigger and come down, I don't know. I've jumped in trades like that before on an evaluation and it's gone whoop. Okay, that was that area of liquidity there. That's why I still like these. So already today, Bookmap saved me a trade. There was a trade I was on about going short and I didn't. I can't remember what it was now, but and also it gives me these areas. If I know after the correction there's a measured move there, that liquidity there is people telling me they're putting it just before that measured move, their entries, exit. In fact, that's a fraction higher actually. 83. So that's about there. So it may come back a bit more before it pushes a bit higher. Let's just check we got this accurate. Yeah, I still think it's going to go up some more. See if we can get 2 legs. I think if it was going to fail there, it would have done, and it didn't. It came back a couple of times and didn't, and then pushed up some more. Yeah, if I entered short there, I'd just be picking a top because it could trigger you and go up and stop you out. and it's not a setup for me. And at the moment, because we're moving up, it's a counter trend trade. I'm not saying it's not going to work. That's a different strategy. That it's just one leg up. That isn't. To me, it's not completed a measured move. And as we know, these measured moves are really accurate. That's a few ticks off. I'm not saying it's going to, but that's an area where traps can be. I've seen this so many times. It'll trigger you, go up a couple of ticks, hit the measured move, and then work down or push straight through. So you can't really. It is counter trend trading because at the moment we are working up. EMA's facing working up. We're clearly making higher highs, higher lows. So we can't at the moment. Okay, so wait for a second entry or a higher low. But I still expect that measured move to be played out. Now, I know sometimes it doesn't work that way. It doesn't always get there, but these bigger moves, they tend to be more accurate. Continue on top of the range. You just don't know. It's clearly quite choppy day. But I'm also aware that as well as having that area of the liquidity there, it's in fact that area of liquidity is 83. It's just under 83 actually. It's 20. Yeah, it's probably so funny enough, this could possibly be, apart from this, it could be a failed breakout. We touched 1, 2, 3 times. Could be the top of range. It's so hard. Okay, so if you shorted that, you may take that lower high. I don't know. I'm looking for a break and then another bounce off here and then maybe a higher low to continue up a bit. I still don't think we've gone quite high enough. There is resistance at the line. Yeah. But I mean, we've all got our own strategies and shorting at the top of a channel as a counter trend trading at the moment. The trouble is we touched here, we touched a couple of times here. It's that choppy at the moment. You just don't know. And it's just, I'm not a fan of picking tops. I don't have a great deal of success with it. And I know that it's one of my weak points, so I tend to stay away from them. And not only that, I know it's close to that measured move. And I know how accurate those measured moves can be, so I wouldn't be shocked if it triggers and push you off. The reason it might come down is because it's towards the top of this channel. But it's just too close, that measured move, for comfort. I've taken trades up before and it's triggered me and stopped me out. And I always ask myself, why do I pick tops when I don't have a lot of success with it? So I tend to leave them alone. Okay, so we've had a leg down. We've had a bit of a break. Maybe we'll make a new low here. That's why I mentioned being careful about going along here, because it could also be a range. That's what makes it. We had the same issue there with that lower section there. Okay, possible second entry long, but you've got to be careful it doesn't trigger you. And then go down and stop you out. So if I'm going to take a trade here to go long, it's going to be the higher low. Yeah, see that straight away. Second entry long, EMA's flat, it's below the EMA. It may trigger you, come down and stop you out. So for me, it's waiting for the higher low, so I can at least get above this bar here. leg. So let's see. Right, there is a second entry long there, but as we have come off here, it could be a trap, so it may trigger you. So for me, it's going to be the higher low. If you look left, there's a little bit of congestion there. So it may trigger you, come down and stop you out, and that might be the failure. It looks quite kind of nice and bullish, but it's still just, it's dangerous, if you ask me. Now, there is strong liquidity up here, so I still think there's a good chance we're going to get up here. So now, it may trigger, come down and stop you out, or it may trigger and start to push up, but it's the higher low I'm interested in. I just want to give it the opportunity to trap me. And if it doesn't come down and continues higher, then I'm looking for a trade there. But, you know, if we are in this range and it's reacting to the top of this range and not the channel, ranges tend to, a lot of the time, we'll make a break over here in a range. We won't make a new high in a channel, and we just come straight down, which tells me the ranges are more important. So we pull down, try go once, try go twice. It may fail and come down. If we push up and get a higher low up here, then I may get in for a little bit, but at the moment it's just looking a bit sideways, a bit congested and a bit risky. We have bounced off this, which is a good indicator, I think. And a couple of times you could say double bottom. Suppose if you like it, you may jump in with a limit order down here and lower your risk, but EMA's flat and it's sideways, so I think it's risky. Now, if that ends up bearish as in trigger, I may be interested in going along above it because, okay, so try go once, try twice, it's a failure which is triggered. Now, it'll either come down, take out that stop, or go above here and move higher, so we'll see. Leg. Okay, that's hold, interesting. Now it's been stopped out. Yes, if you got in there, you'd have got triggered and stopped out. Now it may still go higher, it depends how that finishes, but it's gonna be waiting for a higher low. That's the trouble with trading. You've got to be prepared for multiple scenarios. Is this a channel? Are we going to continue higher? Is it a range and we're bouncing off the top? So it's just, there's multiple scenarios. It's also a leg down, so it may continue up. This could possibly be a little bit steeper, and that would work with the tops. Maybe go from, say, here. Well, let's put it there. You're going to open those a bit. That fits nice. Leg. It's a visual second entry long. The shorts worked. You've got your point or whatever out of there, but it's just... it's so hard. you gotta prepare. You can't just thinking about going long. You got to be prepared for that we're in a range as well. And there you go. Say, if you'd have taken that and you're waiting, you got stopped out. If you took that, you got stopped out. That's the hardest thing about trading. It's just not black and white. There's so many different grey areas. Thing is, at the moment, I can't be thinking about going short here at the moment because one, it's congested, two, EMA's flat, and three, we have been moving up, so it's just one of those things, isn't it? It makes it more risky. If you look at that, it is a failure, but I'll be much comfortable taking it below here. But look how flat that EMA is, and it's congested, so you just don't know. it could trigger that and push up for a higher low and then push up a bit higher. You just don't know. Yeah, that's the trouble. Sometimes they work, sometimes they won't. And if they do work, you take them next time because you think it worked last time and you end up getting shafted. So, let's go with that for now. It seems to be working in this area anyway, so. That's what I mean about these channels. I mean, for me, it's working nice in there, it's touching nice. We've had a break. In a lot of cases, you'd expect a new high, but in ranges, doesn't necessarily mean that way. If we've bounced enough off the top, if enough people are short that, no one's going to be buying here. Hence, it's coming down. Anyway, I'm just curious, what's the add-on you use for extra buttons on the chart trader? These here, they just come with a Max. If you sign up to Max Price Action website, where's my indicators gone? There we go. It's just called they are Pat's toolbar. So you get that free, and you get that as well, and you get the economic news calendar, and a bunch of other things. So you could probably get some of the third-party add-ons if you search around for free. But it is useful to have these. I like it because it's got these measured legs. It's got your plot and your measure, and we use these a lot. Okay, so interesting. So we've had a break of this channel, a nice big bullish bar. So we're going to push up. Who knows? Maybe there's a bigger leg. A couple of legs of correction. Maybe we're going to have a bigger leg up here. Who knows? A leg and a leg. A leg and a leg. See if it just comes the EMA or it continues up. So that's possible. Which, funnily enough, would take us up to a new high if it does go that way. So maybe if we push up and get a higher low, oh, this thing here. Sorry, it's just called it's called One Click Trader. It's $200. Unfortunately, I haven't got a link, so I can't get any discount of it. But all it enables you to do, I've got it on limit at the moment. If I hold the Alt button and just click the button, it enables me to just drop trades. And same here, I can drop
order submitted,
buys and sells, and then just cancel them.
Order
canceled. And you can have it stop, so you can just hold the Alt button and click it. It's just a bit quicker. The trouble is, I can't get out of the habit of doing it the old way. I got it for free just to give it a go, and I don't know. Some people swear by it. I know. Dan uses it. Daniel uses it, but I don't know. I still do it. I can't get used to it. The trouble is with me, I've got a mic in front of me keyboard, so I can't. The Alt button's just in the way at the moment, but. There's a bunch of things you can do with it. Sell above, sell. I've not even scratched the surface of it really, but it just makes it quicker. As opposed, I mean, if you do that, right click and it covers your price action, then you've got to look for the thing you want. So there is a link in the description of all my videos for it if you want it, but I think it's $200. But I wouldn't say it was a necessity. Unless you've got money to waste or not or something, but not that it's wasting. But yeah, a lot of people swear by it, but I just still do it that way. I think a lot of the times, sometimes I'll be aware of it, but took a failure on the NQ bagged $1,500. Good on you, mate. Yeah, it just makes it a bit quicker, really. But I just find it awkward because I've got a big microphone and a boom which is in front of me keyboard, so I tend to push the keyboard out of the way. But you need to hit the Alt button, and then just click above or click below. Click above gives you sells. Click above, I think. Click above gives you your sells.
Order submitted.
Click
Order
below
submitted.
gives you your buys and cancel them, and then
Order
you can
canceled.
put it onto there and just. It just
Order
makes it quicker if you
order
need to, and then you
submitted.
can just flatten
Order
it. So
cancelled.
it's got its uses. Okay, so 1, 2, 3. So let's put my little order above there. Let's say I buy there 3 bars in a row. It's a little bit of a sideways push there, but it's okay, I think. So, in fact, I'll tell you what. Let's see if it makes 2 points. So there's my 2 points. And there's my 2 point risk. So 1, 2, 3. I probably wouldn't gone into it actually, because there's a little bit of sideways there. I tend to like the bar just after a winner, but I think it might be okay. So let's just, in fact, I'm going to put that there. There's me 2 points, and I'll put one below. I want to get this out of the way, in all honesty, but that's where my stop would be. Just in case there's a higher low. So that's where the order would be. That'd be 2 points, 2 point risk, or close to, I think. Actually, a fraction lower than that, I suppose. Be about there, somewhere around about there. Yeah, I don't like this the little bit. So this for me could be a leg and a leg. So we may not get up. May not get up there. I like 3 bars without that little doji in the middle. I still think it's going to push up, but there we go. One leg, 2 leg. I suppose you could still class that. Yeah, it's a little bit wider for me there. That looks almost like a little bit of a break, so I probably wouldn't mark that, but as I've marked it anyway, yeah, I prefer the slightly tighter ones that go tight, but we'll see. Oh no. Yeah, as I said, I wouldn't have marked that one anyway. For me, it's jumped over a little bit, so that would be a leg and a leg, so that wouldn't interest me in all fairness. That type of thing, nice and tight, no sideways movement, no doji in the middle. Okay, leg, push up. I don't know, looks like it's coming down to me, so... Okay, let's mark that one. 3 bars. I prefer them a bit bigger, but let's see anyway. Give me 2 points. I don't know whether this is the right context anyway, because I still think we're going to go higher, but there we go. But it does seem like quite a nice channel. It's nice and tight. Risk reward, yeah, I use it occasionally. It's up here, isn't it? Okay, that worked for 2 points. So there's another one that worked. I like that. 1, 2, 3. Nice, in a nice tight channel. That clearly worked. So beautiful. Oh, I've just removed my pink line. What a bummer. Where did I go about here? On it somewhere. Something like that. Okay, so that one worked. That one worked. That one worked, and that one worked. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 winners today, lads. Unfortunately, not a penny. I might try it one evening with a just with an evaluation, just for a bit of fun, cheap evaluation, just for a bit of fun. So we've pushed it up in a channel, made 2 attempts to go lower. I'm wondering whether this is a trade that what it would get in. The panda guy, would he wait for it to push up there? Not the panda guy, the penguin guy. Would he wait for that to push up there? We got leg down, trap a few longies and leg down again. Maybe leg, possible. This is a drawing tool, not an indicator. Yeah, that's what you're on about, isn't it? Yeah, that's what you're on about, isn't it? I think. Just your risk to reward. So obviously you adjust your ticks. Adjust your ticks however you want. Okay, interesting. Second short. I don't know if I want a short here at the moment. We've had 2 legs out. And we made a higher low. So leg. I don't know. I got no idea. It's a little bit choppy at the moment. We've come off these highs with 2 legs, so whether we're going to push a bit higher or not, I don't know. I had my measured move a little bit above there, and I like those measured moves because they're really accurate, so I wouldn't be shocked if we ticked above there by a couple of ticks. Well, the good thing about these, at least they happen a lot more often than our setups. So I've had 4 today. Look, 1, 2, 3. Lovely big bars in a row. 1, 2, 3. Nice big bars. Just jump in. 2 point risk, 2 point stop. No one's trying to stop you out. 1, 2. Not sure if I'd take that one because it's a bit of a pullback, but after that one, definitely. And that one clearly worked. That one I wouldn't. It's a little bit too wide. Just these tight ones. These tight ones where you get big bars just seem to move really well. So that one worked just wherever I went in. Was it there? Yeah, so that went for 2.25 points. So that just worked. In all honesty, I don't know whether I would have taken that one because I'm expecting it to push higher. So, but you know, coming off these areas after a break in a new high, definitely, yeah. Moving up here, definitely. After we've had a break in a new high, lower high, moving down, yeah, definitely. And that the thing I like about them is no one's trying to trap you. So that's 4 of those that have worked today. So whenever we go into these really tight trends, okay, Chandler, 2 attempts to go lower, higher low. I would prefer the failure, but I would say we're still pushing up a bit here. Or it could be a channel. 2 attempts to go higher and down. I don't know. It's just the price action is just hard again. It's not very clear. The only half decent one really is that leg, break leg, push up the higher low. That's the only one, unfortunately. I was making a cup of tea when that happened. I don't think that was terrible, but I'd have preferred it a little bit more bullish. Because we've had a break. We've come off the bottom, so I'd expect it to push up a bit. Mac may mark that, although he doesn't mark anything on Friday. I wish he would. Sometimes the best stuff happens on a Friday. Okay, possible failure. I dare say there's going to be some shorts in that trade. Symmetrical triangle forming. Yeah, we don't tend to use those. We have our own technical term for this. Shite. Yeah, we don't really use these. I don't know how these push up or down today. I don't know. I suppose it depends on where the bias is. Where's the bias today? Who knows? I'd say if I was betting, I'd say I would more expect it to go up. Nice king here if it triggers. Yeah, I don't know what a king is. Right, I'm assuming by the message deleted you've spelt it wrong. Nice king. What's the word we're looking for? Come on. Hopefully another week and a half we'll get rid of the latency. We'll have 2 seconds, not 10 minutes. Okay, yeah, so we got a leg up, break, leg down, break. I'd say it's probably going to come down. Nice long, there we go. That's much better than a king, isn't it? Yeah, I'm not thinking about longing or anything. Trouble is that the push down and the little bit of breaks got me a bit nervous, especially with that there, which is triggered. So it could be a bunch of traps again. No, that didn't trigger anyway, so. So we got leg. Same again, just choppy and unclear. Excuse me. Broke triangle. What do they usually break to the bottom and then push up, or vice versa? Yeah, it's tough price action, isn't it? Yeah, it's just choppy. No idea what's going on. Usually breaks up or down decent amount after breaking symmetrical triangle. Yeah. Ah. Well, another shite day in the life of a trader. I'm starting to think my strategy's better. At least I made something. 8 points out of an up. Yeah, this is just asking for trouble, this is. Leg down. Oh, does this mean it's working down? Let's have a look. Looked a bit different on there. I wonder. Maybe. Price action you want to watch? No, I don't want to watch this. This is not the type of price action I want to watch. How much are you charging for your new strategy? I'll think about it over the weekend. I'd probably say a couple of thousand. No guarantees it works yet. I might next evaluate. I might get an evaluation and mess around. You can have some fun and experiment with the evaluations at the moment, especially when they're $30. Got to be bloody careful though. I was doing evaluation the other night, and I was trading 5 contracts on an evaluation, and I saw a setup, and I needed $80 for to get to 2,600 on one of my PA accounts, and I saw a trade, and I flicked over to the PA account, but I never changed it to 5 contracts. So I took a trade, and it started to go against me, and I thought, what the hell's happening? I didn't realise I hadn't taken it from 5 contracts to 1. I ended up losing $400. I felt physically sick. So I double check and triple check now. So yeah, that's the trouble when you're trading multiple accounts and evaluations, because a lot of people trade more risk on their evaluations, and in all honesty, they take more risk on their evaluations, but it's very easy to see a setup, jump over on the PA account and forget to change the contracts. So always keep that in mind. Okay, so you just this is just nothing. I'd say by what I'm seeing, I think it's likely to come down. We've come from the top to the bottom, from the top, tried a few times, push high. So I'd say it's likely we're going to continue down. I think there may be some longs there, 2 legs of correction, but I think if it gets below here, I can see it coming down for the most. I think nowhere else it can go, really, isn't it? But you're watching it now. I'm reading your comment, mate. Yeah, it's just not fun this on a Friday, is it? Another day without trade. Well, hopefully next week maybe we get some of the guys with the deeper pockets back at work. If we continue like this for another few weeks, I might end up trying this new strategy because we ain't making nothing at the moment. I was talking to someone a couple of days ago, said they'd only done 2 trades all week. Okay, that depends where you go from. No, I say maybe a second entry long, but it's a third entry actually. Fairly setting up, possibly. Well, yeah, if you sort of recount from there after this, I'll probably recount from there. So try to go once. But the good thing is this, I'd like it to trigger that the possible some longs, thinking maybe we've bounced off this midline. Excuse me. We've gone up, bounced once, bounced twice, bounced 3 times. I don't know. It's coming down for me. We're clearly sort of ranging at the moment. Touched a few times. I'd say from what I'm seeing, it's working down. And at some points, I think when it gets below here, possibly here or here, I think it's going to come down a little bit quicker. May sort of stall around there a bit. There does seem to be a little bit of resistance there. So leg down, I don't know. It's looking like it's coming down, but the trouble is so careful. Sometimes you just jump in and thinking we're coming down, all of a sudden it'll turn. I've done it on evaluations so many times thinking, it looks like we're coming down, let's just short here. Put me stop up here above this one, and it triggers and stops you out. It almost knows. I think, to be honest with you, I don't think they're algorithms, I think they're aliens. Because, I don't know, when I'm trading sometimes I feel like I'm being watched. In fact, just in case it is aliens, I may get some of that tin foil and wrap it around my head. Just in case. Just in case they're taking information from me.
definitely making sort of lower highs, aren't we? Trouble is, this is when you're at your most vulnerable, when it's going slow and you want to make some money and you think, hey, here we go, break, let's go short, and it stiffs you. So the longer you've been trading, the more sort of vulnerable you become, really. So these, as frustrating as it is, in fact, I don't even find it that frustrating not taking a trade. At the end of the day, it's my job to wait for a setup and take it. If one doesn't appear, that's part of life, isn't it? I suppose there's reasons at the moment, isn't it? Isn't there? Traders taking, and summer holidays. I don't know how you guys work in the US, because you have things like spring break and all that. So I don't know. Do you have your summer holiday? Do you have a specific period? I mean, in the UK, we just tend to take holidays anywhere from sort of June to sort of August, really. I don't know if you guys have sort of specific times where a lot of people do go abroad or not. I don't know how it works in the financial sector. But we're just random over here. When we've had enough, we go, that's it, I'm off on holiday. So, it's just choppy, isn't it? Okay, I know there's some selling at 78, that much I know. So, taking a short here can be risky because it may trigger you and then hit that area. I might be wrong, but that's why sometimes I find this useful. Okay, so if you've got a little channel there, we've had a break. Maybe some traders take that. Small risk maybe after this. Not the best channels, but seems to be working down there. Looking for a higher low setup. What's everyone else thinking at the moment? Not a clue, mate. Not a clue. It's just a bit choppy. We're clearly in a range somewhere. I don't know. I mean, we seem to having a bit of a channel down here, but these channels aren't necessarily, I don't know, maybe if it's coming to the top, you're not going to make a break in a new low, but we're in the middle there, aren't we? Bouncing off middle side. I got no idea, mate. And while I have no idea, it's just a matter of sitting and waiting. It's slow. It's not clear. I will say these areas of liquidity, if anything, stop me taking trades. I mean, a normal channel like that, you'd be thinking about looking for a low, wouldn't you? But I know there's either profits or there's sell orders there. So whether people are thinking if it gets to here, I'm going to sell, or what, I don't know. Trouble is, after a channel like this and a break, you can get that focused on trying to push higher, can't you? And looking for longs. And then all of a sudden, down she blows. There's very strong liquidity down here at 65, so I think it's likely at some point to get down to this bottom. So, let's have a look. What's above there? 82, so 83. Let's have a look. If you took a shorty at the top of the channel, who knows, you might have your profits down here, so that might be why there's 600 odd orders right at the bottom. Well, just before the bottom, 65, 45, 65. And we've been down here twice, 3 times before, so we've come off the tops, haven't we? We've tried a few times to get higher, so I think it's more likely we're going to come down personally, but maybe a hidden second entry short waiting for a lower high. Don't know. It's hit that liquidity that was there anyway, so that's one bonus. So maybe hidden second entry short, move down, lower high. Sometimes though you can look for entries rather than waiting for them to appear, and I usually find I get that when I've been sitting here a long time and it's been literally 3 minutes off 3 hours. And sometimes it's when you can sit here patiently and make your worst decisions. So yeah, exactly. I wouldn't take that second entry short. I'd wait for it to trigger. In other words, wait for the trap to hit, and then if it does push down and give us a lower high below here, then that may interest me. But I wouldn't take a short that high. It does look like a hidden second entry short for sure. But EMA is starting to tip up, and it is, you know, a few ticks above the EMA, so it's not something I would be interested in. But it may be an indicator that prices may work down from there. But apart from that, that's all I got really. Nah, shite. Okay, that's triggered. See if we get a higher low. I mean, we've had this 2 legs down. We've tried to push up. We've pushed up there. We've come down and made a new low. We do seem to have a bit of a channel. It's a bit congested, but it seems to be a channel nonetheless. So we've had 1 leg up, 2 legs up, and a bearish bar. So if we can push below the EMA, pull up, and then drop again, I'd be interested in going short there. But it's got to be a good setup, really. But unfortunately, so many times it just comes down. It doesn't come back and give you an option. But the price action is just unclear. It's up, it's down, it's up, down. Every time it hits, it's hitting at a different area. It stopped here, stopped here, stopped here, stopped here, up here, down here, down here. All I will say is making lower highs, but the bottoms are just naff, aren't they? So I don't bloody know. There's probably going to be some longs in that trade. 2 legs down, push up, maybe a couple of legs back and another push up that may be trapped. So if it can get below there, I'd say it's probably going to come a bit lower than that. So if we can get a lower high there. Oh, does look like a leg up and a leg up. Sorry about that. Yawning away, yeah. The longer you've been sitting here, the more vulnerable you become, I think, because you just want to get a trade before the end of the day. But in all honesty, this is choppy, and it's areas like this which just cut you off. You take a short and it'll just stop you out. And in all honesty, if I do take a short, I think I'll be looking for maybe no more than 6 ticks, I think. I mean, you want to get in and out.
If it's a great setup, they tend to work. If you've had a leg up, a two-legged correction, and a really nice setup, they tend to work really well. Unfortunately, it hasn't triggered above there, but why am I seeing dating Asian ads? I got no idea, mate. Nothing to do with me, the ads. I don't know what they put on. But if you don't pay for the I have Prime, see, so I don't a YouTube Prime, so I don't get ads. If I don't pay for it, I get ads galore. Unfortunately, it hasn't triggered above there. So I get that annoying guy from Birmingham talking about these charts are useless, and you want to, what is he? You want to get the, I think it's order flow he has. Why are you trading with these useless charts? Something like that. I get him all the time, so I got that sick of it. I ended up paying for the Prime. But yeah, if you don't have the Prime, to be honest with you, YouTube's part of my learning process anyway, so I pay for Prime because I spend a lot of time on YouTube, and I hate seeing the ads. They just fry my brain. I'm seeing a lot of buy orders here, so whether they're from take profit or not, I don't know. If you go down, we'll go fast. Yeah, I think once we get below there, we usually do, it gets slow and sideways, and then when we hit some of these stops, nothing sort of holds it then. But we do seem to be making lower highs. Same thing going up, yeah. Stops piling in, yeah. Some massive orders down the bottom. What am I looking at? Where is it? Yeah, there's 700 orders here at 65, which, funnily enough, is a few ticks below the bottom. This is just going to drop in a minute, I think. So this is where I may put one of those little orders in. So let's drop one in at the bottom of this bar. No, it's not tight enough for me, that, actually. So I'm going to leave that. I like these really sharp ones. Nice big bars. They're a bit too small, them, in all fairness. Trouble is, if it does break above here now, it's hard to go short because it's clearly finding resistance there. I did say there was some. There, maybe a touch higher. Yeah, there's some around there, so it's obviously holding prices a bit. We need to get below it. Once we get below it, we'll get, I mean, there's 2 legs down, see, after this, so there may be some traders still in there. So, I don't know. I'm just guessing. But we seem to be working down, but this is when you're at your most vulnerable. Gives you a little taster. We're going lower, you jump in and all of a sudden up it goes. Triple test at the level, yeah. Trouble is, it's a triple test at the bottom. Prices are coming down at the top. That's what's making me nervous. If we're coming down, I want the triple test to be that way. 1, 2, 3, and then down. Yeah, I'm not a fan because prices to me look like they're coming down. Not only that,
That bar's triggered. Now I'll be getting a bit nervous about here. The EMA's coming down towards us. Even if I was going to go on a bar there, it's just not bullish enough for me. And I hate picking bottoms, especially when prices are coming down. It may go up, it may work, but it's not what I would say a natural area. Normally, a triple test is if you're coming down and you go up 1, 2, 3. You know, we've come down and we've tried to go up 3 times, then we come down. We haven't really. We're coming down. So bouncing that way for me is not where I would see a triple test. It would be this. We seem to be working down. We've made 1, 2, 3 attempts to go higher and they failed. So then we continue on down. No one's given us positions yet. Moving too slow, yeah. You usually get a surge at a certain time, don't you? Towards the end of the day. Whether people are getting out of positions or something. Yeah, see, for me, I think we're coming down. Unfortunately, there's just no entry. The only reason I think we're coming down is because we look like we're coming down. But as far as an entry to tell me we're going short, there's nothing, unfortunately. But there is some... Let's have a look. There is some sell orders around about here, just below the midline, so... I don't know. I got no idea. See, the higher low may have been a bit better option. Trouble is, this channel hasn't had a break in a new low yet, so it's still risky. It may still facing down, see. So it may trigger you. And then you've triggered a second entry short then and come down. So if you get a second entry short here, trapping some bulls, I don't know, maybe an option. Well, what another day of pure torture. No trades, maybe one half decent setup, that one unfortunately. I was taking a P when that happened. But I would have liked that one, especially with that second entry short triggered. I probably would have liked to have seen that move a little bit first and then I'd have got in, but... Massive liquidity down here. Okay, guys, I think I'm going to knock it on the head. On a slow day, I can't see it improving much. We've been going 3 hours and 10 minutes now. I usually do 3 hours is my limit. In all fairness, it's just so slow. And not just that, you get in a trade here, it's going to take you 20 minutes to get out of it. It's just torture, isn't it? So that's it for the week. It's been a tough week, actually, in all fairness. I think I'm up about $200 per account for the week, actually. It's been appalling, I've got to say. Been a really tough week, one of the hardest weeks. They say don't trade tops and bottoms, but Mac marks them up. Yeah, he does. Mac's experience, see, but it depends if you have any luck with them. I mean, for me, although it's hit it twice, it's one push up, really. It's just made another. So when it hit this one, I can't do that, really. I'm not skilled enough and confident enough to take him, really, because
they've just caused me problems. So I tend to stay away from them. I'll observe them, and if I see something that hits a place again and again, and we seem to have two nice legs, then I may short it, but it's going to be really clear. But this is just slow torture. I just don't know what's going on here, to be fair. It's hard to trade. There's traps galore. I might just grab my fisher bag and go off and do a spot of fishing. So have a great weekend. Yeah, you too, Chris. See you, Sam. Have a great weekend. And we're back Monday. Hopefully we might get a better week. I don't know whether there's going to be some guys back off on their holidays next week, maybe. But there you go. Another tough day. Only one setup I could see. There may have been one or two others. I don't know. You may have taken that short there after this. But it's congested, so it may trigger you. I can't see it coming back up there to stop you out. But apart from that, I can't see. Second entry short there below the EMA. EMA's flat, so I don't know. There's not been a great deal today. 200 up on the week. That's a great week. That's 4,020 accounts. When you look upon it like that, mate, yeah, absolutely. I mean, ideally, in an ideal world, I could be up 1 trade a day, 2 points a day. Yeah, but you don't need to make a lot, do you? And I think it takes time to realise that. You try and get too greedy and try and run too big and try and take trades, and you'll get away with it for a period of time, but over a long period, it just doesn't work. I've had my fair share of lucky trades, but now I'm trading and waiting for good setups. I'm getting a lot less of them, and I think that seems to be the case. So have a great weekend, guys. You too, mate. You too, Ryan. And I will be back on Monday, and hopefully we may have a better week. So stay safe, have a cracking weekend, and I will see you all on